Of course, it is a Monday morning, and that means no Pat Pagano, but it does mean Anthony J. AJ, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Marshall.
How are you?
Great. How goes it? How was your weekend?
It was okay, except the furnace has been on all weekend. It was cold. We had 32 degrees at my house yesterday morning. This morning, not as bad. It was 43 when I left home. But still,
Wow.
the
You
furnace.
guys, yeah, I love those crisp mornings this time of year. You get those up, up north and west of where I live. So,
Well, I hate them.
yeah.
I had to move all my plants in,
I
before
know.
Saturday night, and got them all in, and they're all safe. But still, the furnace now is on officially for the season. It's always
Yeah, yeah.
a turning point. A turning point is a bad turning point, but it's a turning point nonetheless. So now we've got. Is it going to stay this way now, or are we going to have any hot periods come back? You think?
Well, good that you ask. We have a weather pattern change actually that is taking place. So, to answer your question, we're going to be in a colder weather pattern overall, and it's because of the jet stream. It's actually been kind of an early winter in parts of southern Canada where they've had snow, and the jet stream is going to be dipping down over the east. So, we're going to be seeing overall colder temperatures for the rest of this week into next week. Nothing, earth-shatteringly cold, no snow, but that crisp air is going to be with us. But not so much today. We got some, clouds out there and some showers on the radar, and some showers this morning, this afternoon. Maybe even you might even hear a rumble of thunder this evening, and then we're back to dry conditions. The rest of the week is going to be dry, and we're going to have some chilly mornings with temps again around freezing. I'd say for sure by Thursday morning, and then dry weather through Friday. If you do have any plans this weekend, Marshall, I plan for maybe some rain, say on Saturday.
What? Where's the rain coming from?
Well, we got a looks like a weather system coming in from the Midwest is going to be moving by, I think, on Saturday, giving us a chance for some rain, and then a pretty might be quite cold around here Sunday morning. We'll have to, we could have temperatures below freezing Sunday morning, and then but a dry day probably for Sunday. So again, a colder pattern, but at least nothing, no hurricanes to watch, thankfully, and no major storms. No major storms.
All right. So how much rain do you think we're going to get?
I'd say for this little kind of a wimpy front today, I wouldn't expect more than maybe a half inch tops across the area. The air is pretty dry, so there's not a lot of moisture to tap. So I'd see about a half inch of rain maybe later altogether today into tonight, and zero rain through Friday, Tuesday into Friday.
And then the weekend, maybe another inch.
Yeah, we're gonna watch that. It's a cold front, so we might get some thunder showers. So we could see, not an all day rain, but we could see maybe around a half inch to an inch of rain sometime Saturday evening.
So we got a good weekend. It looks like a terrible weekend coming up then, or at least a terrible Saturday.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I'd say maybe a chance of some rain. Could always change, but these weather systems are moving by real quick. So they're not going to hang around and give us days of lousy weather. Kind of a wham bam, rain showers,
I'm
maybe
glad you
thunder type
changed
of thing.
that. I'm glad you changed the wham bam, because it was when I was in high school. It wasn't wham bam rain showers. I can tell you that.
So, but, just to go back quick, you were talking about sports. That Yankee series was. I wish we were still playing. I think the Yankees should have won that series. Too bad they're not still doing it, but it's
It's just as well because you don't
okay.
have to sit out in the cold weather now to watch a baseball game.
Yeah, the first game I went to this year, it was a great game, but it was freezing. I mean, it was like 45 degrees.
It's not fun. It's not fun to sit at a baseball game when it's cold. It just isn't. Even
Yeah,
in the playoffs.
yeah.
There's been two cold baseball games that I've been to in my life, professional baseball games, and they were colder than most football games that I went to because the
Mm.
temperature wasn't as cold, but when you're used to being out to baseball games in shirt sleeves and stuff, and when it's 42 degrees at a baseball game, it feels like it's 10 degrees. And the only thing colder than those baseball games in sports that I ever experienced in my life is when the Giants were playing the Los Angeles Rams in a playoff game at Giant Stadium, which they lost on a last-second touchdown scored by the Rams. It was so cold. Ask me, how cold was it, Marshall? Everybody had thick gloves on, earmuffs and everything. So when in the stadium, instead of hearing huge cheers and lots of applause when something happened, all you heard was muffled. It was so cold. And I swore I would never go to another game like that, and I never did. If it was, this was in the Meadowlands at the time, the original Giant Stadium. It was 7 degrees at game time.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. That's extreme for here. Yeah.
It was horrible. It was the worst. It was the worst time in my life outside of a date I had once in 1987, which I won't talk about.
Wow.
That date was the worst date. But other than that, it was the worst time. All right, so we've got some rain today. Then the rest of the week looks okay, and some rain on Saturday.
Yep. Sum it up. That's exactly how it's looking.
That's not too bad then. We're going to be all right. So did you have a good weekend, though?
Yeah, pretty normal weekend, I'd say. Saw some friends Friday night and worked the rest of the weekend.
All right. Well, we'll speak to you again next Monday.
Will do.
All right, take care.
You too, Marshall.
Bye-bye. That's Anthony J. this morning in the Weather Center for Pat Pagano. He joins us on Mondays when Pat cannot be around. Pat closed up the camp this week.